Now, when and how you would use sustainable mines, there are two main categories, but you can use it for more stuff. But the two main ones here is that you want to assess the environmental performance of a product that you have designed in the past, just to learn. You can model it in our software, benchmark it with maybe new designs, compare it, and then report on that and see what you learn. And if you're going to redesign that project, what would you change? And then you can go to a redesign project. The idea of the software is that you develop several concepts and apply different eco-design strategies. And with the feedback you get from the software, you will be able to find trends and where you're most impactful and where you can make most savings. Okay. Now, if we say that sustainable mines is mirroring eco-design and lifecycle assessment, if you log onto our software, you'll see that there's a learning center. And in the learning center, there are several chapters of information available for you. Why to use sustainable mines, a user guide of conducting sustainable mines, theory about eco-design and LCA, eco-design strategies, and how we get to our environmental footprints. Well, let's have a look at one of those chapters. If I look at eco-design, an eco-design overview, then everything starts, you can depict it in a cycle that you see here. And I think you can all relate to this. Every product starts from extraction of materials that the product is made out of. Materials need to be processed, and at some point it gets to when users are done with it, and it's either being landfilled or materials being recycled, components can be reused, or the product is being reused. So we're thinking from a life cycle perspective. Now when you think of a life cycle perspective of a design project, and what Sustainable Mines wants to do is give you a tool that in your early design process, in early stages, you can already start footprinting and looking at environmental performance. Now what you see here in the slide in the middle is the lock-in of costs during your design. And you see that quite quickly in your design curve, and you probably know that from experience, about 75% of your costs are already locked down quite early in the design process. After a few, say 20% into your design stage, you've already locked in the type of material, the user profile. Maybe you're already talking about certain supply chain, you're thinking about your cost. Now, the same applies to environmental performance. Now, if we go to the screen below, you see here the same happening to the environmental performance. So you lock in the environmental performance already at the early stage of design. Now, knowing that, we want to provide you with a solution that you can use even before you get to the stage of a CAD representation of your product. And that's what we do. Now, if I go to the eco-design strategies, and I look at the eco-design strategy wheel, on the right, you see the same picture here again, where the life cycle wheel is depicted. Now, left from that, you see the eco-design strategy wheel. And the eco-design strategy wheel, you see that every life cycle phase can provide entry points for you to start improving your environmental performance. You can look at your materials, for example, in section 2, look at low impact materials. If you have a product that uses electricity, you can look at number 5, which is the use phase, and you can look at low impact use. Now, if you go down, you sign up for a subscription, there's a whole area of information of different design strategies, and you see here the same circle, but then kind of like drilled down to all kinds of scenarios and strategies that have worked for others. Maybe they'll work for you, maybe they'll give you some ideas of how to change your basic design. Now, if we project this on examples of people who have redesigned their products, so we look at examples of eco-design strategies. I think you all know the example here with the chair to the left of your screen. In the chair by Herman Miller, you know they're Cradle to Cradle certified. They looked at all the materials in their chair, so they optimized manufacturing, and they looked at disassembly and recycling, so they optimized end of life. Now, they're very successful. They're able to sell their chairs at a pretty high price point. They get a good story. Now, there are more stories here, and maybe you can relate to one or two of them here. But the idea is eco-design strategies can help you give ideas and entry points to start improving environmental performance. Now, if you look at the business case for sustainable minds, and we look at, excuse me, what can designing green products do for your company? We think that we're past the time of tree hugging and just saying green is good. Now, green is here to stay, and we think there's a change of business paradigm where economics, making money, and being green and sustainable go hand in hand, and basically are if you can find solutions that marry both, your business will stay alive. Now, if we look at business drivers that promote this and look at this, there are very real business drivers. Business drivers to start on engaging in sustainable performance improvements could be changes in your resources, regulation. Think of the toxicity regulations in Europe on electronics and how they revolutionized electronics globally. Can be your reputation, but it can also lie from internal drivers like risk, innovation, and revenue management. Now, if I look at Ecodesign and LCA, and then what Sustainable Minds does, it tries to marry the eco-design strategies, trying to innovate and renovate your product to a metrics and measurement performance indicator, which is LCA. And we think that combining the two of these will give you truly greener products. Now, to sum that up, if you think in terms of eco-design strategies, and we can help you add lifecycle assessment to that, you can start developing truly greener products. Now, if you look at what LCA does and does not, there is no such thing as a 100% green or 100% sustainable product. Everything leaves an impact. Everything uses resources. There are only improvements over baselines, comparative products, or current products. And secondly, LCA alone, doing an LCA, does not make a product greener. Lifecycle assessment is a measurement tool. It gives you numbers. It can tell you, it cannot tell you if a product is green, but it gives you a measurement of the product's impact and provides insights on how to improve the environmental performance of a product. And we'll show that to you in a few demos. Making your product greener comes from learning from lifecycle assessment results and implementing strategies, eco-design strategies, that work and actually reduce the results for your product. Now, all the eco-design strategies that you saw before, they have worked for others, but just an eco-design strategy itself does not make it green. You always have to match it, pair it up with lifecycle assessment to get the numbers in there. So LCA doesn't stand alone. Eco-design strategies don't stand alone. They should be implemented cyclically together in a measure, improve, measure, compare process. Now, Sustainable Minds or any other LCA software is just a big piece of the puzzle. We're all focused on systems thinking, life cycle thinking, and creating points of intervention for improvement. And these are the eco-design strategies. The eco-design strategies are great, but if you don't know how they're actually going to improve your environmental performance, then where are you? And life cycle assessment and Sustainable Minds, there's where we come in. We give you a great core of eco-design strategies, but we link that and couple that with a tool to measure and to provide metrics for environmental impact improvement in a way that you can design truly greener products. So another way of depicting this is, say, if you bring the innovation and you use Sustainable Minds, then you can design truly greener products.